It's Ash from Super Videos, back for another video for Season 11 of The Walking Dead. In this video, we're going to be talking about Commonwealth, which is of course the name of the new community that was introduced in the last few episodes of Season 11. In this video, we're going to talk about the Commonwealth Ploy. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, then this is the perfect video for you. Stay tuned. I'll be right back to break this down. Alright, as always, before we jump into this, if you're not a subscriber and enjoyed the content by the end, consider subscribing to join our community, share and smash the like button, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. With that said, let's just dive right in. So of course, we know that Eugene was communicating with a girl named Stephanie on the radio, who told him about her community, and obviously when they got to Commonwealth, this girl right here introduced herself as Stephanie. Now this is not the real Stephanie. There's tons of clues why, and we're gonna go through some of them, but let's first talk about why the Commonwealth even brought out a fake Stephanie to begin with. Well, obviously, we know that Eugene, Yumiko Princess, and Ezekiel are not very talkative. They are not giving out a lot of details about where they're from, which is reasonable and smart. So I think what the Commonwealth, or I should say the leaders of the Commonwealth, decided to do is bring someone that Eugene trusts to begin with in order to get information from him. Now, you may be asking, how do they even know that Eugene was communicating with her? Well, there's two parts to it. One is they probably found out, and Stephanie, the real Stephanie, probably got in trouble for what she did, and I'm assuming that that's exactly how the Commonwealth knew where to go in the first place when they went to the train station and arrested Eugene, Yumiko Princess, and Ezekiel. The other part of it is that Eugene didn't beat around the bush. He told the Commonwealth exactly what led to him being where he was. He told them that he was communicating with Stephanie, and that's why he's there. So assuming this is the fake Stephanie, which many of us believe is a fact, where is the Commonwealth gonna go from here? Well, as the first step, what the Commonwealth did is make Stephanie, the fake Stephanie, talk to Eugene to try to get information out of him. But it didn't go anywhere, which is why I think the Commonwealth leaders instructed her to move on to Plan B. If you remember, Eugene asked Stephanie if there was an unofficial version of her proposal to get into the radio room to communicate with people back home. Before we even get into that part of the discussion, we actually saw the real Stephanie. This is the real Stephanie right there. So obviously we have Eugene in the background, the fake Stephanie on the right, and in the center we have someone else who is actually the real Stephanie. For one, this is the actress that voiced Stephanie when she spoke to Eugene on the radio. The other part of it is that, look at the fake Stephanie. She's looking at the real Stephanie in shock, as if she's nervous that she might say something. So that's another clue. The final clue to this is that this girl ordered Rocky Road ice cream. If you remember, the Stephanie who spoke to Eugene on the radio told him that her favorite ice cream is Rocky Road ice cream. In fact, Eugene brings this up and asks this girl if what she got is Rocky Road ice cream. So that's a very, I would say, clear clue that there's something going on with this girl. And obviously, based on everything I said, it's all pointing towards this being the real Stephanie. Now you may ask, why doesn't she say anything if she recognizes Eugene? Well, she doesn't recognize him necessarily. She might have a feeling that this is the same person, but she was probably ordered not to say anything, or she'll be in bigger trouble. Now with all of that said, let's circle back around to how Eugene and the fake Stephanie went to the radio room to have Eugene communicate with people back home. Now of course, Eugene was able to communicate with Rosita and Judith back home, but he was interrupted when the Commonwealth military showed up and arrested him. Now there's something very interesting going on here. The Commonwealth trying to have Eugene trust the Commonwealth directors and people in charge, like Lance Hornsby. So we know that Lance Hornsby showed up after Eugene was arrested and asked security to let him go. And also, the fake Stephanie told Eugene Lance Hornsby is someone you can trust. So I think all of that is building up towards the Commonwealth trying to get Eugene to let his guard down and think these people can be trusted and that they're just doing what they're doing because of the rules that they have in place, not necessarily because they have alternate motives, have other motives. We also know, based on the trailer for the upcoming episodes, Lance is gonna visit Eugene in prison or wherever they take him to after he was arrested. And I think this is Lance's way of trying to get Eugene to let his guard down even more and think Lance Hornsby's actually interested in helping him. Based on the trailer for the upcoming episode, we also see a scene where Lance talks to Yumiko and tells her, your people back home need help, I can provide that help. And I think the way Lance is going about getting Yumiko on board has something to do with Tommy, Yumiko's brother. Let me backtrack a bit. We know that Tommy, Yumiko's brother, was a surgeon before the fall of society. However, at the Commonwealth, Tommy is working at a bakery. Doesn't really fit because we know that the Commonwealth is structured such that everyone has the role that they had before the fall of society. Yumiko used to be an attorney or a judge, and that's exactly the type of job that they're planning on giving her at the Commonwealth. Similarly, Ezekiel was a zookeeper before the fall, so they gave him a similar role at the Commonwealth. So why is it that Tommy is not a surgeon at the Commonwealth? It's very simple. No one knows that he was a surgeon. He lied to everyone. And how we know that is when Yumiko asked Tommy about why he's not a surgeon here, he shushed her and asked to keep it quiet, meaning that he doesn't want anyone to know. But obviously, Yumiko told Mercer and other Commonwealth representatives about his brother being a surgeon, so they already know. I think that leads to this scene right here, where Commonwealth soldiers take Tommy, Yumiko's brother, away. So they're taking him to be reprocessed in a way to get the proper role that he should have. Something that Tommy doesn't want. He likes working at a bakery. He doesn't want to go back to what he used to do. And I think this definitely relates to what Lance is saying here. Lance is saying, in order to have trust, we need to work together. Something along those lines. So at the end of the day, I think the Commonwealth are using Tommy as leverage in order to get Yumiko to give them intel, and they're using Stephanie as leverage to do the same thing to Eugene. All of these things are going to lead to them finding more about Alexandria, which is going to lead them to go to Alexandria to not confront Alexandria, but figure out what type of community they have and why some of their people are there in the first place. But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to go through in this video. I hope all of this made sense. There was a lot of different pieces to it, but at the end of the day, to briefly describe what's happening, the Commonwealth are trying to fool Yumiko, Eugene, Princess, and Ezekiel into trusting them to give them more information than they probably should give them. But I am interested to know everyone's thoughts and opinions. Do you agree with everything that I said? What parts don't you agree with? And what do you think the Commonwealth are going to do next as far as try to get more intel from the survivors? Share all of your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to join our community, share and smash the like button, and press the bell to be notified when I upload on the channel. That's it for this video. See you next time for another super video.